And we're joining the game now just in the third jam with some technical issues. For those of you that haven't watched the game, everybody in the team, the Ronnys, has on their program and on their jersey the name Ronny. So we will be talking a lot about the jammer Ronny and the blocker Ronny today.
So Ronny 8 is there jamming for the Ronnys, who's lead jammer, picking up 4 points there for the gentleman in red, calling off the jam before the quads can score anything.
Also, if you haven't seen any games yet and this is your first, just a quick reminder of the game format that today we're having just 30-minute games with a 2-minute half time when teams will swap benches, and 4 penalties will equal a foul out in this 30-minute game.
Apart from that, it is the standard WFTDA BEARDi rule set. So if you're aware of those rules, the current iteration is what we're skating on.
So up jamming for the Quartz of War, it is Duke Nukem, and picking up lead.
Ronny 69, they're having a hard time getting through that quad defense. They cycled all the way to the back of the pack.
Duke Nukem trying to get around the outside, but is hit to the floor. But his team have left the inside line open. He scores the points and calls the jam.
5 points there picked up by Quartz. Ronny 666 on the line there, jamming for the Ronnys.
And that looks like Thor in trouble, jamming from the Quartz of War. Both teams crowding the back line there. Thor in trouble, pushing the Ronnys up into a no-pack situation, and is able to use that to get through and pick up lead.
Ronny 666 having a hard time at the back of the pack. He cycled all the way to the back.
But Thor in trouble, hits the Ronny wall, but breaks through, scoring 5 full points.
Ronny 666 is now completed his initial pass and is out. But Thor in trouble with a nice side skate around, pulls off the jam, picking up 4 points for Quartz of War.
We've just had about 5 minutes of the game. It is 7 points to the Ronnys, 18 to the Quartz of War.
Milton Keynes Quartz of War roster for this game: 1664, Stone Suicidal; 1991, Sonic's Rampage; 2020, Optical Zoom; 26, Swift Fool; 2D, Duke Nukem; 34, Steeple Genius; 41, Le Bliss; 525, Mugs and Kisses; 7, Matt LeBlanc; 789, Dueling Danjo; 79, C6 Steve; 81N, Put a Sork in it; 84, Dropkick Murphy; 85, The Iron Giant; 9, Death Rock; D12, Thor in Trouble; and Z95, Swamp Thing.
It's Mugs and Kisses jamming for the Quartz of War, and it's up against Ronny 8, who has picked up lead jammer. Mugs and Kisses recycled to the back, still on his initial pass, and just as I say that, gets out.
Ronny 8 just there, put on his arse there, just but he gets up, skates his way through, pulls off the jam.
Ooh.
The fourth whistle, yeah.
Yeah, that was Death Rock there from the Quartz of War with a
Rock there, picking up an illegal procedure, blocking after the fourth whistle. Going to your lineup.
Yeah, so the lineup for the Ronnys is 1, Fix Fox; 11, Jam Payne; 12, Michael Broyodo; 133, Paintera; 1337, Big Red; 251, Jazzy Hands; 3, Mahatma Bronson; 33, The Blockfather; 42, Skage and Smooth; 666, Rolling Reaper; 69, Eastsider; 8, Ed; 94, Crumblage; and 981, Rudy Cartel.
Nice powerful block there at the front there, gives Quartz of War the lead jammer.
And that is Eastsider, or Ronny 69, as it's easier for us to see him. getting out of the pack and forcing the jam to be called. I recognise the name Eastsider from somewhere. Do we know which? Because this is actually a team of, made up from several German men's roller derby teams, which is why there's a bit of history that they played a bout against the De Kevins, and so they were all of the Ronnys, and they decided to stick with the name. There's a real commitment to that in this team. So up jamming for the Ronnys is Ronny Rolling Reaper, 666. Ronny 666 still stuck in the pack. There's strong walling there from the quads. That's a Swifty working with his other team members there to provide a dominating wall of blue. And it looks like dueling Danjo for the quads of war. Dueling Danjo also out. Mugs and Kisses there trying to give in some offense. And he's out, approaching the pack again for his scoring pass. Just seeing if, and he didn't squeeze a point. I was looking there to see whether he'd squeezed a point, but nope. The fourth whistle went just before his hips passed the other player. So with just about 9 minutes gone of this game, it is 14 to the Ronnys, 26 to the quads of war. So we have Duke Nukem up for the quads of war. Duke Nukem is out of the pack there. And forces the jam to be called off. And he's up against Sonic's Rampage, 1991 for the quads of war. Both jammers pushing the walls forward quite fast. A lot of strength going on.
A lot of tough brace work and defensive work to just hold those walls and those jammers together and all the way back. But it's Ronny's from hours to lead.
He flew out of the pack there. But Sonic's Rampage is also out of the pack. Ronny 1337 trying to keep him back there. And as he approaches the pack, hit it and quit it.
3 points picked up by the Ronnys.
That's putting the scores at 20 points to the Ronnys, 26 points to the quads of war, 19 minutes left in this game. Up jamming for the quads of war, it is Dueling Danjo, who has to be said is wearing the most amazing pair of pink pants. Superhero style over his clothes.
There by Ronny as well.
He was back to the back of that pack in a millisecond. Recycle. Oh!
1-footed landing, gets on the outside to lead.
That was incredible footwork and balance.
Great control from Dueling Danjo. As he spins through the pack.
Ronny 8 is out of the pack. And
Dueling Danjo picked up a cut track on the inside there on his scoring pass, so he'll be in the box giving a power jam to Ronnie 8, picking up 5 points for the Ronnys.
That was a lovely piece of pack work there. His teammates clearing his line for him. And again, lovely piece of friendly side or book ending, whichever you use, by his blockers clearing his line for him. Of course, they're unable to stop him, even though he's on that inside line. They couldn't hit him off it. And there he is trying to call off the jam, but he's not lead jammer. That's fine. He's decided to pick up another 5 points.
Great block there by Ronnie 133 to put Dylan Danjo out to the outside. Five more points there picked up by Ronnie 8 as Dylan Danjo also makes his way out for 4 points.
Ronnie 8 is having a great jam here, and that's because his pack are really helping him get through. And there he is trying to call off the jam. I mean, he must be tired.
I think he wants it over with, but he's got to keep skating. But there's the whistle. 4 points picked up by Dylan Danjo.
That's had a huge impact on the scores. It is now 44 to the Ronnys, 34 to the Quads of War. 16 minutes left in this game. So we have Duke Nukem jamming for the Quads of War, but it is Ronnie 69 who takes over with lead jammer. Duke Nukem about a quarter of the track behind Ronnie 69. But Ronnie hits that quads wall, calls the jam.
No points for either team there, picked up on that pass.
Smart tactics. We now have the 2-minute half changeover. So both teams will change benches. So that's how quick 2 minutes is. We're back on, and we have got Ronnie 666 jamming. And it is a C-Slick Sleeve. I knew this would trick me up. C-Slick Steve, who is jamming for the Quads of War.
Now my challenge, Ronnie is jamming. Oh, I did it, yes!
I think all teams should choose one name and stick to it, just for the announcers.
What are you, a communist?
Citizen Ronnie.
Citizen Ronnie.
So C-Slick Steve there, stuck behind a solid Ronnie wall. I am the jinx every time I say that.
C-Slick Steve there, getting a lead jammer.
And there's a lot of bracing going on with this Quads of War wall. Swifty up the front there. And they're really keeping Ronnie 666 back.
He ducks around that one at the back, pushing hard. But C-Slick Steve is through on a scoring pass, and he's trying to make his way through the Ronnies. He does.
Stevel Genius there being used as a cannonball by Sonic's Rampage. Taking the jammer off there. That can be very effective, using one blocker as a ball or something to push.
A star stash there from Ronnie 666 to get out of the pack.
Bring the score back up to Ronnie's 47, Quads of War 39. Just under 14 minutes to go.
And so we're going to be starting this jam with 2 blockers in the skate hut penalty box from the Quads of War and 1 Ronnie. I have so many 2 Ronnie's jokes lined up.
Well, they had a lot of 2 Ronnie's jokes themselves.
Oh, it's a penalty from me and it's a penalty for you, from him. and so on and so on. If you are watching these in order, the next game that's going to come up will be the Crash Test Brummies versus the Power of Scotland, just so to help you keep them in order. This 30-minute format is a lot of fun.
It's very quick. It's very fast, high action games. And in this jam, we see Ronnys 69 gets out of the pack first, but it's not to the outside.
That was a great block there from Matt LeBlanc. Perfectly timed. So it didn't just hit him off the track, it hit him way off the track. That's when physics helps.
Ronny 8 on the jammer line there for the Ronnys. And it looks like Sonic's Rampage on the line for Quads of War.
Looks like that too from here.
There can be only one. One Quads of War taking on the might of the Ronnys.
But Swifty Fool coming back on track will even the odds up a little. But the quads there not offering any real offense there to Ronny 8. That's 5 points for the Ronnys.
A back block has been issued to the Quads of War jammer, so it is a power jam for Ronny 8. 5 more points picked up.
And there's still only 2 Quads of War's blockers on the track and 3 Ronnys. So this is a great opportunity for the Ronnys to extend their lead. And that's 5 more points for Ronny 8. But the quads have now got all their blockers on the track. Oh, that's unfortunate there. Sonic's Rampage picking up a cut track just as he re-entered, so has gone back off. Still a power jam to the Ronnys. But Ronny 8, they're facing 4 formidable Quads of War blockers.
The offense comes from Ronny 2981. Opens up a little bit of a gap, allowing Ronny 8 to swing his hips behind, picking up 5 points in that last pass.
And that's opened a considerable lead. The score is now 43 points to the Quads of War, 72 to the Ronnys. We've got just over 8 minutes left in this game. Not enough of a lead yet, but you know, that's still something to claw back.
Still anyone's game here, so the other thing to keep in mind as well as wins, it's points differential if it comes down to equal number of wins to determine which final that these teams will be playing in. So every point does count and every point does matter. Ronny 69 there, picking up the lead jammer.
But Sonic's Rampage is out of the back, out of the penalty box, and is making his initial pass, and that makes Ronny 69 call the jam off. I'm sorry there, I completely lost the ability to use words.
That was an early call off and a bad call.
So we are starting with both jammers on the line. Jamming for the quads, it is Steve Genius. No, it's not. It's Duke Nukem.
Ronny 69 again, jamming for the Ronnys.
Quads there hoping to get Ronny 69 to cut track, but they didn't. But he's still stuck behind the pack. Ronny 12 there, managing to block with his thigh.
Lovely one-footed blocking there from
Yeah.
Ronny 12.
It's something we've definitely started seeing in games more recently. Almost kind of hooked around legally using legal blocking zones. Very effective. And it's just a sign of the athleticism and the balance of skaters now that they can do that. I couldn't do that. I would fall flat on my ass.
Timeout has been called by Ronnys. Why not sponsor them? Why not send a few dollars, quids, yen whatever your local currency is their way to aid men's health charities in your location.
So we're about to get underway again. It is Stevel Genius for the Quads of War. And he'll be up against...
Ronny?
Could be, not sure.
It's Ronny 8 to be exact.
Stevel there with some lovely toe stop work to get out of the pack and get lead. But Ronny 8 putting on a real burst of speed to chase him down. And the pack's speeding up. That was lovely. Ronny 1337 trying to hit Stevel. Stevel brushed that off when no. 1337 hits the floor.
4 points there picked up by Quads, no points to Ronnys.
That is one of the most fun things, is when somebody comes in to block you and they're the one that goes on the floor. You can't help but have a little smug grin to yourself when that happens.
69 jamming for Ronnys.
And it is Duke Nukem jamming for the Quads of War. The outside there left open for Ronny 69 to get the lead jammer. But Duke Nukem is chasing him down. Hitting him off and forcing Ronny 69 to call the jam. So we've got just over 4 minutes left in this game. 49 to the Quads of War, and 72 to the Ronnys. Up jamming next for the Quads, it will be Sonic's Rampage 1991. And he'll be up against Ronny 8.
Great offense there by Ronny to let Ronny come through and get lead.
But
Danjo is out now for the Quads of War as well. Ronny 8 with getting around the back wall, picking up all 4 points, then calling it off, denying any points for Quads of War.
I'm beginning to feel I need a magnifying glass to see all the numbers. Because yet again, I got the jammer wrong on that.
Well, take the Ronnys. Who's jamming for the Ronnys?
Would it be a Ronny?
It is Ronny. It's a Ronny 69 by the looks of it.
It is Ronny 69, and he is up against Duke Nukem. Fantastic block there from Mugs and Kisses, knocking Ronny 69 to the floor. And as lead, he's called that off, stopping Duke Nukem from scoring any points. So we have 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, 49 to the Quads of War, 76 to the Ronnys. And up jamming next for the Quads, it will. I think the Quads of War just had their jammer go to the box at the end of that jam. So we'll be starting on a Ronny power jam.
They've sent out Ronny 8 there at the star. He picks up lead jammer. Ronny offense there, looking to break up that wall.
Ronny 8 also not hustling to the pack that time, trying to run the clock down a bit. And also, it's a long day for these guys. They've got 5 30-minute games. And they've got, a 3-jammer rotation in the Ronnys? Probably trying to conserve his energy.
Lovely duck and dive through from Ronny 8. Looks to his bench for instruction. Goes to straight on. Has a lovely little jump there on the turn there from Duke Nukem for Quads of War. Ronny 8 goes, anything you can do, I can do better, with a one-footed leap around the outside. But he's called on a cut track, unfortunately.
There was so much air on that jump. And I think that is also a foul out there for Ronny 1337. 4 penalties equals a foul out. Some lovely timed offense there from the quads, but there's just as many quads as there are Ronnys on the track. It really is going to come down to this last sort of 10 seconds.
The Ronnys, they're making it tough there for Jignigan to get through.
And that's the game. So the unofficial final scores, 68 to the Quads of War, 85 to the Ronnys. That was a really exciting game to watch.